Nothing is more chilling than an unsolved murder case, and the world has plenty of them. Even when the court has given its verdict in some circumstances, it is difficult for us to accept it. This is Insane Crimes. Before we continue this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you can stay in tuned and updated on every upload.
Her name was Teresita Basa. Born in the Philippines in 1929, Teresita Basa had moved to the United States in the 1960s to study music. She later became a respiratory therapist at Edgewater Hospital in Chicago, Illinois. Quiet and unassuming, she was the last person one would expect to be victim of a violent crime. However, at 10 p.m. on the night of February 21, 1977, the fire department was called to put out a fire in her apartment. In the blaze, they found her nude body under a burning mattress with a butcher knife buried in her chest. Investigators believed that the fire had been set to cover up the murder. There was evidence that she was the victim of a sexual crime. The autopsy, however, determined that she had not been raped. There seemed to be no apparent motive for the crime. Investigators could also find little physical evidence, as most had been destroyed by the fire. One piece of evidence that was found, however, was a memo that stated, "Get theater tickets for AS." More than 5 months after Teresita's murder, her co-worker, Remedios Remichua, another native from the Philippines, and her husband, Joe, contacted Detective Joe Stachula, claiming to have information about her murder. Remy told Joe that shortly after, she began having visions and dreams in which Teresita appeared to her, begging her to go to the police and tell what had happened to her. One night, Remy took a nap at home. According to Joe, she began speaking in another voice. It said that she was Teresita. She told Joe that her killer's name was Alan Showery. The voice claimed that he was an orderly that worked at the hospital. She urged Joe to go to the police. However, when she woke up, she claimed to have no memory of what had happened. Joe decided, at first, not to go to the police. Then the voice possessed Remy a second time, asking Joe why he did not go to the police. He said that he had no evidence against Showery. The voice then told Joe that he had taken Teresita's jewelry after her murder and given it to his girlfriend. Detective Stachula did not know if he could trust this information or not. He decided to do a background check on Showery. He found that Showery lived close to Teresita. Co-workers confirmed that he was planning to go to her apartment that night to repair her television. Stachula brought Showery in for questioning. He confirmed that he went to her apartment to repair the television. He claimed that he did not have the tools to do so, so he went back home. Stachula did not believe this, so he contacted Showery's girlfriend. He asked if Showery had given her any jewelry recently, and she said that he had. She agreed to let Teresita's friends and family inspect it. They confirmed that some of it was Teresita's. Confronted with the evidence, Showery confessed to Teresita's murder. He said that after he left her apartment, he made a plan to return and rob her. When he returned, he said that she let him back in. When she turned around to lock the door, he grabbed her from behind and attacked her. He disrobed her to make it look like a sexual crime. He then took her mattress, placed it over her body, and set it on fire. Despite his confession, Showery pleaded not guilty to Teresita's murder. When a mistrial occurred, he decided to plead guilty on February 23, 1979, receiving only a 14-year sentence for his cold-blooded crime. He was released on parole in 1983. Did a voice from the grave really crack this case? At the book's end, lawyers, psychics, and reporters are still chewing over the question. The key to the mystery may lie with the woman who fell into the trance, and her husband who heard the voice speak through her. Over the forthcoming years, many sleuths have tried to explain these seemingly paranormal trances. Some have suggested that Showery had complained about Mrs. Chua's work quality, thus leading to her being fired from the hospital. In fact, her psychic symptoms allegedly started shortly after her termination. Could she have heard Showery speaking about his involvement in the murder? Whether or not one believes the claims that Mrs. Remy Chua was possessed by the spirit of Teresita Basa, the clues given led to the arrest and conviction of her killer. To this day, the murder and ensuing mystery is arguably one of the most bizarre murder cases in Chicago history. There's no way to know how Remy Chua was able to identify Showery as the suspect. Did she genuinely get entranced? Was she able to act as a spiritual medium to the other world? Or did she simply overhear Showery talking about his upcoming work at Basa's apartment? Could she have been a co-conspirator or fake, as suggested by the public defender? The tragic story of Teresita Basa is one of those cases where it is impossible to rule out paranormal activity and, unfortunately, one where we'll never know the answer. This is Insane Crimes. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.